Hey, so Lick Friday week 352, nearly forgot that one. And before we go into the lick, please do consider liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting the bell button and sharing with all your friends on social media to push this channel along to get more than 50,000, I think it is now. So if you can, that would be great, much appreciated. The jamming track for this lesson, you can find at the end of the video. There is a sample version of it, and you can also find it on my Patreon page for the full version, linked in that description below. So, and the tab for this is all free. It's on my website dansguitar.com, along with a load of other free stuff. All of the Lick Friday tabs are there for you to download as much as you want. Yeah, that's it. Right, so jump in with the lick. It's quite complicated, but look at it how you will. Here it is. So that was it. That's the lick in the sense of it's basically just C natural minor, and then we're using like a pedaling type thing. I would call it a kind of Richie Kotzen style, where you're going back to, in this case, the F note. Is it the F note? Yeah, it's the F note. And you're using that as kind of like a bounce back, so you're running up the notes of whilst going. It's almost painting it black, isn't it, actually? But anyway, so that's kind of like the style which we're going for with this, and it makes it nice and smooth if you use hybrid picking. My picking hand is not great, so I kind of adapted a hybrid picking style as well, just to help me along the way. And it does help to smooth things out, because you can really get a pop on some notes, but you can also keep everything really level and linear sounding, so that's really nice to do. If you do want the jamming track, as I said, it's at the end of the video, so it's well worth practicing along with that. The sample version is, and if you want the full version, it's on my website, not my website, my Patreon page. Tab is on my website. All of those links are down below anyway. So yeah, you're using the natural minor and you're pedaling through, sort of bouncing back off of that F note, and also on the run down on the second part of the lick, or the second bar, you've got like this the thirds that you're using, where you're kind of almost swapping fingers as you go, but on the same note. I'll explain more of that in the breakdown coming up in just a sec. But that is something which you can work at. So I think there's a slide and then a pull off, where you're not really, yeah, I'll go through it in more detail in a sec when I know what I'm doing. But anyway, so that is the lick. That is what we're going to do, and the breakdown is coming up right now. Okay, so the breakdown of this lick, yeah, it's not an easy one. I recommend using hybrid picking, or at least trying it, especially for that part. I use it throughout, so but it's something where you can easily get away with. It just doesn't have the same dynamic to me, so some may argue that, but you know, that's personal preference. So we're sort of sliding into the 10th fret on that 3rd string, and then you've got this always coming back to the F note on that 10th fret. So the plectrum plays the 3rd string, middle finger in my case plays the 2nd string. Use the plectrum if you want to, you're cool. But you've got to the 10, and then it's, I'll just give you the fret numbers, you can decide how you're going to pick it. 8 on the 2nd, 10 3rd, 9 2nd, 10 3rd, 11 2nd, back to the 10 3rd, and then it's 9 2nd, 10 3rd, and then it's that 8 on the 2nd, and then you've got this, a very quick slide from the 10 with your plectrum, sliding it up to the 11 and then back down to that 10. So that's almost like non-existent, but it makes a massive difference. If that makes any sense, great. Going to the 8 on that same string, 10 on the 4th, and then back to that E flat, the 8th fret on that 3rd string. So that section of the lick goes. Okay, the next part, again using hybrid picking or just picking it, you're cool, but I'll just give you the fret numbers. If you can watch the video to see how I'm doing it, you can clearly see that on there anyway. but you have I'll try and explain when I swap fingers and slide and stuff like that. So, but we're sliding into the 12th fret, and we're kind of using third finger for the third string, and then the second finger for the second string on the 11th fret. So, and you got that third string, second string, back to the third string, sliding that down, same shape, 2 frets. So that's now on fret 10 and 9. So you got. And then this is the weird one, so you're actually pulling that off now with your third string to the 8th fret. So bringing that first finger across 2 strings, so it's 8, 8, 8. Now on this one, we're swapping fingers as you slide down, so you're going from the 8 and you want the 8 to then change to the 7, but if you do that with your first finger you haven't got any scope to bring, well, not unless you went diagonal, which is not going to be easy. So what I do with this one is I swap the finger from the first finger for the second mid slide, almost like you wouldn't notice, and then you've got the so that's the 8 coming down to the 7, second finger changing from the first finger then plays the 6th fret on the second string, whilst your second finger is then ready for the 7th fret on the third string for the last time. So you get practice that kind of slide where it's almost magic, using your first finger and then the first and the second. But that's down to you. I'll play the whole lick slow for you now, so you end up with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and to me. Right, at the end again. So, as you could probably tell, it's not an overly easy lick. What you're using is fairly straightforward, just literally a natural minor run, 4 notes, and then descending in thirds as you go down to the 6th and was it there? It is there. So the 6th and 7th frets on the second and third strings. So it's fairly straightforward, but it's one that I think will need a little bit of practice. If you want to play it exactly as I do, then you're going to need to copy the slides where you're swapping fingers over, all in that breakdown previous to this anyway, but it's something which will take a little bit of practice to get into the motor skills. So practice makes perfect, as that saying goes. If anything can ever be perfect, I don't know. But anyway, the jamming track is coming up in just a second. The full version is on my Patreon page, link below, and the website for the tab is dansguitar.com, also link below. Please do consider liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting the bell button and sharing with all your friends on social media to push this channel along to 50 whatever subscribers is on now, but push it further. That would be great. Nice. Thanks very much. See you next week.